Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Farms in BC podcast. I'm your host, Nav Seacon. And today we've got a special guest, Aman Bring from East to West Financial. And today we are going to be discussing agricultural financing and all the different types of different agriculture financing. Aman, I would like to thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to join us. So welcome.
Nap, thank you for having me. Thank you for the opportunity to be here.
Yeah, no, a lot of people don't know, but you and I have been working together for the last 13 years for farm financing. So we've had a really good relationship, working relationship and friendship. And just want to say I'm so proud of what you've created and where your success is with East to West Financial. It blows my mind how fast you guys grown and continue to grow. And let's tell the audience a little bit about yourself and East to West Financial and how you took this brand from a local brand to taking it national.
Thank you, Nav. 13 years ago, I had a lot more black hair than I do now. But it's been a great journey. East to West Group of Companies started 9 years ago. I'm one of the co-founders and COO of the company. My business partner and I started 9 years ago, and we specialize in commercial agriculture financing, commercial financing, residential financing, development and construction financing, and equipment financing.
Mm-hmm.
So we've been in business for 9 years now. We have a head office. Our head office is in Surrey, Port Kells. We have an office in Winnipeg and an office in Calgary as well. We now have about 32 staff members. So our team is growing, and we've really enjoyed the journey thus far.
Do you have any other areas that you might want to open up here in the near future, or is that in the works or in the plan?
I think right now we're really focusing on the three core markets.
Yeah.
The future, we may grow into other provinces.
Yeah.
However, right now we're good where we are in the provinces that we are, and we're going to be focusing on growing our client base.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, Aman, when it comes to agriculture financing, could you tell us a little bit about the different types of acreage and agricultural products that are out there when it comes to residential and when it comes to commercial?
Yes. So residential financing is available for agriculture farms, but for smaller acreages. The smaller acreages that actually have a home on them. So when you go for residential financing, there's a house on the property. It's a 5-acre or a 10-acre site with no other blueberry or farming operation on the property. So residential financing is available for those types of acreages.
So under 5 or under 10?
I would say under 10.
Okay.
Yeah. Over 10, typically will have a commercial component to it, where there will be a blueberry operation, a nursery operation, cedar hedges, a dairy operation, or a poultry operation. So those would be considered commercial financing.
Under 10 acres, say if it does have a house and that you were classifying that as residential, and it has a farming component to it, would that still fall under residential, or do they push that into commercial?
There are some lenders that would keep that under residential.
Okay.
What they would do is they would get an appraisal on just the land and the home.
Okay.
And you could potentially keep that with a residential bank as well.
So when we say, so just clear for the audience, when we talk about residential, we're talking about residential criteria for the approval. Yes. And commercial for commercial approval.
Yes, because residential financing is actually cheaper than commercial financing. Correct. So a lot of times clients will want residential financing on a smaller acreage so they can get residential rates.
Probably a lower down payment.
They can get a longer amortization of 30 years, a lower down payment of 20%, and a lower interest rate.
So, Aman, what are some advantages of using a broker versus going directly to the bank?
Okay, so I'll start off with telling you a little bit about our value add.
Sure.
As a broker. Our value add is the ability to shop various different lenders for our clients. So a client will approach us with their deal, and we'll be able to package it up for them, collect all their documents, create a presentation that we can present to multiple banks. Typically, we'll pull a credit bureau only once and send it to 5 or 6 different lenders. Mm-hmm. Those lenders will then assess the deal and provide their rates, terms, and their product that would be best suitable for that client. So our value add is giving the client the ability to know that they're getting a really good deal in the market, whether that be the best rate or the best structure.
Yeah, what I found that really worked with a lot of our clients is the work that needs to be done before you walk into a bank is very crucial.
Presentation.
Yeah, so putting that presentation together, collecting the right documents, and one other thing that I think is very key is you just don't go to any bank and say, "Hey, I hear you do farm financing. I want to try."
Yeah.
Based on the individual structure of how many guarantors or how much income do they have, how much down payment, there may be better products at different banks for that individual to get the best rate or to get the best structure because of their situation. So when we deal with buyers, we always try to advise them to use a broker because they will help analyze the situation. And then they will work for you and get you the best options out there for you rather than just going to the 1 to 2 banks.
Yeah, and a lot of clients actually think there's only 1 or 2 banks that do agriculture financing.
Yeah, we get that.
But there are a lot of the major banks that do have agriculture departments. I would say right now, actively, there are between 6 to 10 lenders in the market that specialize in ag financing. So working with a broker gives you access to those lenders that you didn't know are lending in the agriculture industry. So these clients, you talk about presentation. Our job is to present the deal to a lender. And because we've got all this banking experience behind us as well, we know what the banks are looking for. Yes. So we're able to present the deal properly, effectively, and efficiently for that certain client and that specific property. Every property is different on the agriculture side, as you know.
Yes, definitely. So with the current market, the way that it is right now, what are your biggest challenges and obstacles getting your clients approved?
The biggest challenge right now that we're having is debt serviceability. Since interest rates have more than doubled, it takes us a lot more work to understand a client's position and to figure out what income they have, what cash flow they have, what cash flow the farm operation may have, and to put the deal together to make sure that it is actually affordable for the client as well. We don't want to actually get every client a mortgage. We want to make sure affordability is there as well. Yes. And when we review debt serviceability, just as you know, every farm is different. Some farms will have blueberry revenue on them. Some farms will have rental revenue from a barn on them. Some farms will have rental revenue from a house on them. So we're able to gauge the situation to see what is the best property for each individual as well.
From what I've noticed from 2023 to this year,
yep.
You're right. Cash flow has probably been the hardest challenge. Most people that we deal with, down payment is never an issue.
Yeah.
It's that cash flow. It's debt servicing. Yes. And yeah, you're right. That's been what we've been hearing out in the marketplace as well.
And that's where planning is key. That's where before our clients put an offer on a property that you may have listed, it's imperative to sit down with a mortgage broker so the mortgage broker can actually assist you in understanding what type of property you should be looking for as well.
Yeah. So yeah, they're low on cash flow. So make sure you try to find something with cash flow.
Yes.
You're high on cash flow. Hey, your options are open. Go buy whatever you want.
And just a recent example is a family with a home wants to buy a farm, and the farm has a home on it as well. They want to pull money from the home to buy the farm. However, with 2 mortgages, the debt serviceability isn't there. So we're able to advise them that it's probably better for you to sell that home and move on to the farm property. So again, every case is different.
Looking ahead to 2024, I'm going to be putting you on the spot here, and I would like to know what is your predictions for the interest rates for the remainder of the year? When do you think they might start coming down, and where do you think they might land by December of this year?
Nav, I don't have a magic ball, so I don't know the answer to that question of when the rates will start to come down. But as of yesterday, the Bank of Canada did hold its rate at 5%. I believe that everybody was under the impression that rates would come down in April. However, economists are saying it could be in June. So I also believe that rates will start to come down at the tail end of Q2, early Q3 maybe. And the rest, let's see.
Yes, I do agree with you. Earlier I was thinking spring, with that new inflation number that just came out, kind of scared everybody off, and now they're predicting that the rate cuts might probably happen in June. I do agree with that. I would still like a number from you where you think this might end in 2024 as of interest rates.
Again, another good question. I think Bank of Canada is going to take slow and measurable steps. Mm-hmm. I believe that they'll come down slowly and see the impact each step of the way. So I believe that the rates should come down from 5% to about 4 to 4.25%.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I think that, I think a 4 is going to be that number. I think they'll probably have anywhere from 3 to 5 cuts. I'm thinking around 4 cuts, so about 1% that they might potentially take off.
I hope we're both right.
I hope so too. Aman, thanks for coming out here and giving us your valuable information. For our audience out there, if they had any questions, how would they be able to get a hold of you?
So we can be reached at our office line at 604-503-1673. Our email address is info@ewgroup.ca, and our Instagram tag is ew.group.
Awesome. Thank you once again.
Thank you for having me, Nav.